Hey, Smarty Pants! Public service loan forgiveness has gotten a lot of attention recently, but what is public service loan forgiveness, or PSLF as it's otherwise known? Well, this video is going to tell you what public service loan forgiveness is, how it can help you get rid of your student loans, and what you'll need to do in order to get PSLF. So keep watching. Public service loan forgiveness was put into law in October 2007 in order to ease the strain of rising college costs and encourage students to enter public service fields like teaching, working for the government, or working at a nonprofit. Jobs that are great for society and you get an emotional paycheck, but not really the best paycheck. Basically, what it is that after working in one of these fields for 10 years, you can have whatever is left of your federal student loans forgiven. But it gets pretty tricky pretty quickly, so keep watching. So there is currently a waiver in effect. It stops October 31st, 2022, which eases a lot of the qualifications you need to get PSLF. Be sure to watch my other video, wherever I put it, on the waiver, because that is time sensitive. Now, before the waiver, something bonkers, like 98% of people who applied for PSLF were denied because they didn't meet all the eligibility requirements. Okay, let's make sure that you do meet all those eligibility requirements. The big 5 qualifications you'll need in order to get your student loans forgiven is to 1. Be employed by a United States federal, state, local, or tribal government, or a not-for-profit organization. You have to be employed by an eligible employer at the time you go to apply for public service loan forgiveness. There are lots and lots of organizations that fall under these categories. Now, there are lots of organizations that look like they could be public service, but they're not. So for example, if you work in a public K-12 school or a private nonprofit university, that's great. You can get public service loan forgiveness. But if you work for a for-profit college or a for-profit K-12 school, just because you are doing the same job, but you're doing it for a different employer, then you're not eligible. So hopefully they're paying you well enough so that you will be able to pay off your student loans. My name is Kate Moody, creator of the Saving Spree Budget, here to help you outsmart your money. I'm driven by the idea that good people can do great things with their money once they get control of their money. So if you're ready to take control of your money, be sure to subscribe. Number 2, you need to work full-time for that organization, meaning whatever that organization's definition of full-time is, or 30 hours a week, whichever is greater. If you're working for a couple different organizations that do qualify, so you work 20 hours at one and 20 hours at the other, well, combined, that's full-time, so you're still good. Number 3, you have to have direct federal loans. Just because you have federal loans doesn't mean you have direct loans. There are a few different types of federal loans. There's FFEL, Perkins, Graduate Direct Plus, etc., etc. So if you have those kinds of loans, even though they are federal, they don't count, except during this limited waiver opportunity. Go watch that other video. If you don't have direct loans, you'll need to consolidate what loans you have into a direct federal loan in order to qualify. Only after you consolidate into that direct federal loan, though, will your payments count towards the $120 you'll need to get PSLF. Anything before that doesn't count. Number 4, you're going to repay your loans under an income-driven plan, not the standard 10-year repayment or the graduated 10-year or the 25-year extended repayment, one of the 4 income-driven repayment plans. If you're going for PSLF, it's best for you to go with the plan that has you pay the least amount of money, since everything you owe after 10 years will be forgiven. You can use the loan simulator in the description below to figure out which plan is best for you. And 5, you need to make 120 on time, in full payments. This tripped a lot of people up, and it's why they didn't get their loans forgiven before the waiver, because maybe that once or twice they were a few days late or a few bucks short, and it went all kablooey. It has to be a payment that is made after October 1st, 2007. It has to be under a qualifying repayment plan for the full amount due as shown on your bill, no later than 15 days after your due date. But really, guys, get the stuff in by the due date. You should be doing that with all of your bills. I know it can be tricky, but you can do this. You got this. and while you are employed full-time by a qualifying employer. You can prepay your payments, but you can't overpay to get PSLF any faster. It's going to take 10 years. So like, for example, if your payment is $300 a month, that would be $3,600 a year. In January, you could make a check for $3,600, send it out, and now you don't have any student loan payments for that year because you've already paid your student loan payments for that year. But it doesn't mean that you're 1 year closer to public service loan forgiveness. It just means you've paid your student loans for that year. I put a link in the description for frequently asked questions on public service loan forgiveness. Okay, to qualify for public service loan forgiveness outside of the 1 year waiver, be sure you, 1, are employed by a U.S. federal, state, local, or tribal, or government, or not-for-profit organization. 2, work full-time for that organization. 3, have direct federal loans. 4, repay your loans under an income-driven plan. And 5, make 120 on-time, in full payments. Be sure to ask any questions you have, or, let me know how much you loved this video down in the comments. Thanks for watching. Cheers.